You've probably noticed something funny about spirituality online. Scroll through Instagram or TikTok and you'll see it everywhere. People holding yoga poses on cliff tops, latte art shaped like mandalas, and a quote about living in the moment plastered across a sunset. At first glance, it all looks very inspiring, but here's the question. Is it really presence, or is it just ego in fancier clothes? Because the truth is, the ego is a shapeshifter. In the old days, it might have dressed up as a holy man or a fearsome warrior, quoting scriptures or swinging swords. These days, it's just as happy with a ring light, a carefully curated aesthetic, and a hashtag that says authentic. Whatever the era, ego will use whatever costume keeps it center stage. For a lot of people, presence is treated as a technique, a hack to get to some other destination. You've probably heard versions of it. If I stay present, I'll attract more money. If I stay mindful, I'll finally lose weight. If I meditate enough, I'll be less stressed and more productive. In other words, presence becomes just another trick to secure a shinier future. But the whole point of being present isn't about using the now as a stepping stone to something else. The real power of presence lies in total acceptance of what is, even when what isn't glamorous, Instagrammable, or even remotely comfortable. Of course, ego doesn't like that. Ego says, yes, I'll be mindful, but only if it helps me win. Ego takes a universal truth and shapes it into a bargaining chip. True presence doesn't bargain. It doesn't say, I'll accept reality if it looks the way I want it to. It simply sees reality as it is, without resistance. And that's where the deeper liberation is hiding. Not in what the ego wants, but in what actually is. Now let's clear up a few more common mix-ups about presence. One popular one is the idea that presence automatically equals bliss. It doesn't. Sometimes being present means you're sitting face to face with sadness or irritation. The point isn't to escape discomfort, but to stop piling extra resistance on top of it. Another misunderstanding is that presence is passive. People imagine it means doing nothing, letting life steamroll you. Not true. Acceptance and action are not opposites. You can fully accept the reality of a moment and then act more effectively. Then there's the myth that presence means being calm all the time. Being present doesn't mean you never feel anger, grief, or frustration. It means you're aware of those emotions as they arise without being hijacked by them. Presence isn't about grooming life into a constant Zen garden. It's about being free enough to allow all the seasons to show up, whether they're stormy or serene. So where does social media come into all this? Well, it's become the new theatre for the ego to perform its spiritual role play. On one side, you've got the enlightened influencers showing off their immaculate meditation corner and perfect lifestyle. Then there's the spiritual superior, more awake than everyone else and not shy about letting you know. We've also got the content machine endlessly churning out quote after quote, in other words, wisdom without depth, hoping it racks up likes. And finally, the trauma badge holder who wears past pain as proof of being special or uniquely spiritual. Of course, people might start with genuine interest, but ego is clever. It infiltrates even the purest intentions. That's why you'll see someone begin with authentic curiosity about mindfulness and end up performing presence as an identity rather than actually living it. And yet, there's a hopeful side to this story, because global communication doesn't just amplify ego, it also helps to expose it. Now, with a few swipes, you can compare different teachers' perspectives and see the contradictions for yourself. In other words, the same platforms that allow ego to spread its illusions also make its tricks easier to spot. Ultimately, of course, when you're truly present, no external analysis of authenticity is required. You can simply trust your own inner guidance system. So, yes, this is the paradox of our time. The ego has new costumes and it will happily pretend to be enlightened. But now we have built-in lie detectors. We can recognize its games faster, compare notes globally, and wake up to the difference between performance and presence. Once you see how the ego can distort any truth, you will no longer be fooled by it. That's the deeper meaning of being in the now. It's not a trick to make your life smoother, a tool to reach a goal, or a shiny badge that proves you're more spiritual. It's the simple, unfiltered awareness of this moment exactly as it is. Messy, imperfect, ordinary. That's where the real freedom begins.